Yesterday I pulled this card, and I wanted to make a deck with it and all the other new cards, except I'm still missing a lot. So it's time to get creative. Aerodactyl EX has an ability that prevents your opponent's active Pokemon from evolving, and with a low cost 80 damage attack as well as 140 HP, Aerodactyl can tank and also do decent damage. When we need to one-hit KO, we have Raichu, who does 140 damage for 3 lightning energy, with the trade-off of discarding all energy afterwards. And I know playing fighting and lightning Pokemon together is a bit weird, but don't worry, it gets weirder, because I'm only playing fighting energy. So in order to use our lightning attacks, we're using Magneton's ability to generate lightning energy, which we can move to Raichu when we need by using Lieutenant Surge. The plan here is to do steady damage with Aerodactyl and Magneton, and then eventually do big attacks with Raichu, all while the opponent has to deal with Aerodactyl's ability. Since I only have one Aerodactyl EX and also only one Raichu, I also have Chatot in the list to help make finding all the pieces a bit easier. I know the decklist isn't perfect, and it would probably be better with some other cards that I don't have yet, but I have to make do with what I have. And sometimes that's just enough to win. It looks like we're going against a Staryu deck that's playing the new Vaporeon, and that new Vaporeon's gonna let them transfer their water energy as much as they like. They're playing Misty here, so we'll see how lucky they get. They get 1 heads here and a 2nd heads, which is pretty good. That means next turn they're going to be able to immediately start attacking with Starmie if they have it. They're going to pass it to us, and we have our evolutions, but we still need to find our basics. We have Pikachu, and I'm going to play Professor's Research. Hopefully we can find the old Amber, which is going to let us evolve to Aerodactyl next turn since we have everything in our hand. We play the 2nd Pokeball to get Chatot out of the deck, and bench both the old Amber and Pikachu, and just attach to the old Amber so we can start attacking potentially with Aerodactyl next turn. It's their turn and their Professor's researching, so it's probably a guarantee that they have Starmie by this point. They attach an energy to Eevee, maybe to retreat. Yep, they're bringing the Staryu up with the energy. And there's a Starmie EX, so this Magnemite is definitely going down this turn. They also have the Vaporeon with the art rare too, the very pretty card. Yep, just a Hydro Splash for the knockout, and I don't really mind that because we have 2nd Magnemite on our bench, and now we can send up our old Amber. We draw into our Raichu as well, so this turn we can just evolve everything. Now Aerodactyl is on board. That means that the ability is going to be active. We're going to use Magneton to start slowly generating our lightning energies, and we can just attack for 80 damage here, which is pretty sizable. That means we're going to be able to finish the Starmie with a Magneton attack potentially further down the line. They're playing another Misty. Maybe their luck continues. They were lucky the first time, so it wouldn't surprise me if they got lucky again, and they have 1 heads. Not as crazy as last time, but 1 heads is still pretty good, because they have 4 water energies on board already, and the Vaporeon's gonna let them move that as much as they want. They're gonna do 90 to us with Starmie. We can keep Volt Charging with Magneton to start building up our reserve of lightning energy. Here I'm kind of thinking about what I should do, because I could attack with Aerodactyl and take the knockout, but then their Vaporeon would just take the return knockout, and I'd be in a pretty rough spot there. I decided to retreat into Raichu because without a Giovanni, that means we're able to survive a hit. And I'm also benching Chatot as well, just as an anti-Sabrina measure, because I really need my Magneton and my Aerodactyl to survive next turn. And I attach an energy to Aerodactyl just in case. If we find an X speed, we'll be able to attack with it next turn. They're attaching another energy to their Vaporeon, so now that's fully charged up. And they do have Sabrina, so I'm pretty glad we played the Chatot on the bench that turn. I am okay with Chatot getting knocked out here. Chatot's there for when we're in a really bad spot, but other times Chatot is sometimes there as a sacrifice. I'm sorry, Chatot. But because our magneton survived that turn, we're going to be able to finish the Starmie with 60 damage spinning attack, Volt Charge to get necessary energy on, and we'll finish that hit for weakness as well to take our first 2 points of the game. And they send up the Staryu. Normally they would be able to evolve to Starmie and then use Vaporeon's ability to attack with that to KO my Magneton, but because Aerodactyl is in play with the ability, they're not going to be able to evolve in the active spot. They played a Pokeball and benched a Magikarp, but it looks like they're retreating and going to attack with Vaporeon here, but they're not going to be doing enough damage to knock my Magneton out. Because they can't knock our Magneton out, all of our lightning energy is going to stay in play. Here, our Aerodactyl or our Magneton can't knock out the Vaporeon, so that's why we have Raichu. And now we can retreat and Lieutenant Surge those 3 lightning energy onto Raichu and finish the game with a big Thunderbolt. And that's going to be our final point for the game. In this game we're going up against the classic Mewtwo deck. We have the baby Mewtwo, but I guess not much else. They're just going to pass the turn very quickly. We can play the Pokeball first, and we find the Pikachu. We have the Raichu in our hand ready to evolve next turn, but we're not really attacking with much yet. Attaching the Fighting Energy to Magnemite to make attacking with Magneton potentially easier later. My opponent does find the Kirlia, so they're able to evolve right away. It's kind of rough when Mewtwo players find their evolutions pretty fast. They're just attaching an energy to their bench Mewtwo. They're passing to us, and we can play the Professor's Research. We do find the old Amber off of the Research, which we can start attaching to. We'll just evolve the Raichu and pass over to them. We have Aerodactyl ready to go for the next turn. They have an energy on their benched Mewtwo already, and they're going to want to get the Kirlia out of the active because our Aerodactyl is going to be able to knock that out next turn. And it looks like they're attaching to Kirlia to retreat it. They already have the Gardevoir by like turn 3, I think. Either way, it was really fast. So they can start using their Psyshadow ability to power up their baby Mewtwo. We can start attacking with our Aerodactyl EX, attach our second Fighting Energy to power it up, retreat, and send the Aerodactyl up. And we'll just hit the Mewtwo for a good 80 damage. They're going to hit us back for 120 probably, which is okay because we're going to survive that. As long as we survive, it's all that matters. Yep, they attach a Psychic Energy to their baby Mewtwo and use Gardevoir's ability to be able to attack this turn. There's a Power Blast. We're going to be at only 20 HP, so it's a little scary. We do draw into the Magneton at least, so we can start using Volt Charge on that. We'll start powering that up as our second attacker, and they can't really knock us out with anything else this turn. Their Gardevoir takes too many energies to be able to attack next turn, so I'm okay with just attacking with Aerodactyl to finish that and get our first point. They have to send up the Gardevoir because they had nothing else on their bench. But maybe they find something here, like the Mewtwo EX. But they finally found their Mewtwo EX and they're gonna start attaching to that. And looks like they're Psyshadowing onto the Gardevoir in the active, maybe to retreat it more easily next turn. We drew into our second Lieutenant Surge, so that's potentially an option later down the line. If we want to use Raichu, we can't use it this turn because we won't have enough energy. Here, because we can attack with Magneton, I think I would rather have that in the active rather than let Aerodactyl EX just sit and get knocked out. We do play Sabrina, so we can start damaging their main attacker. We can Volt Charge and manually attach a Fighting Energy to fulfill the attack requirement. And hitting it for 60 here is going to be a decent amount of damage. We do have Giovanni in our hand for next turn, so if they don't have anything like a potion, we will be able to finish the game with an Aerodactyl attack, and they won't have enough energy for their big side drive. They can at least do a Psychic Sphere. They're going to disrupt us a little bit with red card, so we do lose the Giovanni win. They're using Gardevoir's ability to power up Mewtwo, and then attaching to the Gardevoir as maybe another potential attacker. They're just gonna Psychic Sphere us for 50. But our draw for the turn is the Giovanni, so we'll be able to finish this game with the 80 plus 10 from the Giovanni, and Land Crush for 90. And we'll take the final 2 points for the game. That was the weird Aerodactyl EX deck. Honestly, I just wanted to use my fancy new card, and this was a fun way to use it. If you try this out, let me know how it goes. But maybe just upgrade it a bit if you can. Anyways, thank you for watching.